folks, and welcome back to Hey Adora, your Queer Shearer podcast. I am Force Captain Meth, they, them.
And I am Princess Jenny, she, her.
And I am so excited for our secret underwater party adventure.
Secret underwater party adventure!
Yes, folks, we are at the Perils of Peekablue, aka, of course, secret underwater party adventure.
And we are also really happy to be back from our summer side quest / hiatus / welcome back, Meth.
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny, thank you for holding it down, bringing on brilliant guests, and just crushing the side quest.
I was happy to do it, man. That's what Queer Fam is all about.
Thanks, Queer Fam. You're the best. We're going to win in the end.
We are going to win in the end. And this episode is a great episode for remembering what winning the end looks like in the long haul.
Oh, yeah, because this is like one of those episodes. You know what this episode reminds me of? Is Tabula Rasa, the Buffy episode, where you go in because you remember the fun parts, where you're like, this is a fun episode. It'll cheer me up. And then you're like, oh, what are all these great bits? And then you're like, the end, you get hit with the end.
And the end is totally gutting.
The most gutting, traumatic shit.
And you remember that you're on a long road.
Right. And you remember that you're on the long road, but you're like, oh my God, why did I put this episode on?
Yes. And if you just stop like 5 minutes before the end, it can be nothing but good times. But there's, a time for everything, a season for everything. So should we jump in?
Let's jump in.
Should we jump into space, the final frontier?
We should. So, as you may have heard, we are doing The Perils of Peekablue. This is Season 5, Episode 7. It was written by M. Willis, directed by Kiki Manrique, with storyboards by Diane Huh, Angela Kim, and Jessica Zamet. Let's jump right in. We're in space.
We're in space, the final frontier.
The final frontier. We have a nice little establishing scene to show that, yes, the Best Friend Squad are still in space.
Yes. I love this little scene. Even though it's basically the only scene that has the space gang in it. We have like a tiny scene with them at the beginning and a tiny scene with them at the end.
Uh-huh.
Adora is being very serious. She's trying to relearn how to summon She-Ra from within now in a different way without the sword, without the old sword. She is now like summoning the sword from within. Right.
Like this is also some Korra shit right here. Like, yeah. It definitely got like the Korra shit where it's like, okay, now the external things, the easy stuff, the connection is broken. So now I got to go in and pull it for myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Korra always had a much easier time. That's right. That's a good parallel with the physical stuff and the ass kicking stuff. But she struggled more with the internal spiritual aspects of being the Avatar.
Also, just like a nice little sidebar here, side quest. Legend of Korra kicks ass.
Yeah, it does.
It's so awesome, and we are big Legend of Korra fans here because we love a kick-ass Avatar.
We sure do.
Just like She-Ra, who's sitting there, she's trying to get into Avatar state. It's not really happening, but she's trying.
But she's being very serious is the point. She's sitting very seriously in her captain's chair. She's got her arm out. She's got her serious face on.
Yep, and everyone, all manner of good-natured distractions are happening.
Yes. First, we've got, Catra being goofy, which is not something we've seen a lot of since the very beginning. Very early on, we saw Catra and Adora being goofy together, but for most of the last 5 seasons, we have only seen Catra being very serious and emo. Yeah. But now she's getting back into some of her lighthearted goofiness. She's jumping in Adora's laugh. Yeah, Dora, concentrate.
Yeah, she Bo is like, you can do this when she's trying to concentrate. And Glimmer's like, you can do this. Like almost like on her ass, right? And then I want to talk about this moment with Catra because it is a gayest moment.
Absolutely. I have it as well.
And it's the whole moment when Catra enters, gayest entrance moment, because she enters with like her single arm akimbo, and she's got her new like her short hairstyle, but like it's styled like how Catra wants it versus how like she had it before, which was all restrained and slicked back. It's all like unkempt and tousled, and she's smirking. She's got that gay smirk. She has the Catra version of the gay smirk, which we like haven't really seen in like a happier context. And then she like straight up just like jumps on Adora's lap, like NBD, and wraps her tail around Adora's face. And is just, it's this combination of like, I'm a flirty girlfriend and I'm also a cat.
Yes. And also we see her looking comfortable in her skin for the first time in so long, maybe ever.
Yes. Yeah. It's true. Like, this is like Catra, Catra elevated, right? She's actually comfortable. She's not putting on like, she's not putting on airs. She's not being cocky. She's comfortable.
Right. Yeah. Because this is the first time she's been in a situation where she's in relationship to herself and in relationship to the community around her, where there's no real script to how she's supposed to be.
Yes. Yes.
So that can be frightening and liberating at the same time.
Totally. It's like when like, because we're a queer podcast and, this is something that we talk about. It's like when you're younger and you come out and you finally find your queer people, you can be you. And sometimes you're awkward, but you find the people that you can actually be you and awkward around. In this case, it's Catra, so she has the social safety.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, they're still in space, and like, they're still like in mortal peril.
Right. They don't have a broader context to worry about. They're in this bubble of safety.
Right. They think they're going to be able to just like go home and kick ass because now they have Glimmer and Catra.
Right. But even taking aside like what is to come and what they think about what is to come, right now, they are just in this their social parameters, it's just this tiny group. They don't have to think about how do I need to be in the context of the larger rebellion, in the context of the larger social world. There is no larger social world. They're just this tiny group. And so there's a freedom with that of not having to worry about what's expected of me in all these other greater social contexts, because those other greater social contexts just don't exist right now.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed. Excellent observation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also Adora, even though she might not be able to admit it, really loves this. She loves the lightheartedness and the goofiness that Catra is able to have with Adora's other friends that has never been able to have space or air or life, and now there is. And, she just wanted them to all be friends, and now they are. And even though it's a little inconvenient for her, she still loves it.
Right. She has that like grumpy, like the resigned thing of like, I'm trying to do something, but I still really love you, even though you're annoying me.
Right. Right. Like she could tell them all to back off and give her space, but she's not going to do that.
No, she's like, you guys. Like, that's the that's the vibe, right? So, but Adora is she's trying, and she's getting somewhere. She's able to conjure some of the spirit. Her eyes are glowing. She's got the, a little bit of the light. But every time something like that happens, somebody kind of comes in and knocks it out.
Like, here comes Entrapta with Rung Hordak. Do you guys have to do that in here? Yes! It's a real the gang's all here cherry on top of the sundae.
I know, I love it. And this also reminded me of like, do you remember, because we're both old, when you had to mess with antennas to get like the good signal?
Yes.
This is like, I love that they're doing that here.
Yes, that is what they're doing.
I used to have like the shittiest black and white TV in my bedroom. Because, kind of a long story, but my parents were like, you can't have a TV in your bedroom. And I kind of got around it by being like, but Nana gave me this old black and white one. And they're like, well, I guess that doesn't count. What are you going to do with a black and white TV? Right. Well, it's me. So I hooked it up to my stereo system, and I had this ridiculous contraption with like aluminum foil and wire hangers. And I was like making my own. I was like making my own antenna so I could watch the I could watch Xena 3 times a week because
oh my goodness, in black and white, no less.
In black and white, so I could watch it from the Boston, because it was a syndicated show, so I could watch it from the Boston broadcast, and there was a New Hampshire broadcast, and I was actually able to also pick up the Providence broadcast.
This is very impressive. Did you have to stand your head holding the antenna at a certain angle the whole time?
Oh my God. There were times where I kind of hooked up a wire and held it on my arm so I could ground the signal.
This is dedication, folks.
Listen, I've always been a big nerd in every single way. And I love finding little weird hacks to get around rules. So that's what I did. But that's kind of Entrapta has this vibe, right?
Yes, Entrapta is doing a version of that. She has her analog antenna. She has to bring it in here because this is where the signal is strongest. And this is, again, the show is really good at making the exposition interesting. And it's not just, talking heads in a room sharing information that we need.
Yes.
They sneak in the exposition of Entrapta telling everyone that we're almost close enough to get a message through to the rebellion. The signal is almost strong enough.
And of course, it goes right back to, this great, emotional conversation. Glimmer is so excited because she's going to meet her dad.
Yeah, they're almost back home. And emotions are high.
Catra, gayest moment, has some gay leaning pondering, looking out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not everyone is, emotions are high, but they're not all positive. Catra, understandably, has some nervous feelings about getting back to Etheria. Some trepidation.
Totally. And also this small sweet moment between Catra and Adora here is really wonderful.
Yeah, see, this is a really beautiful moment. This is what progress looks like.
Yes.
It's not all grand sweeping gestures. It's yes, I will change and everything will be great now, and boom, it happens. Adora asks her if she's ready to be home, and she says not really. And then she sees Adora's disappointment in that. And she makes a choice that she's okay, I'm going to try now. I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to try to make it different this time. And she says, okay, fine, maybe. That's a baby step.
That is a baby step. But that's the thing about Catra is she's motivated to make the steps, and a baby step is a good step.
And Adora recognizes the value of that. She, it's not Adora smiles. She doesn't say, well, that's not good enough. I want you to be 100% ready and marching in lockstep with me. Catra makes the baby step. Adora recognizes the value of that. She sees the effort. She appreciates it. It's a really beautiful moment.
It's a beautiful moment. And yeah, the small smile that Adora gives her is just it's heartwarming.
Yeah, the intimacy of that.
And also
is beautiful.
Incredibly intimate. And also I feel Adora kind of feels the same way. Everyone is nervous about this.
Yeah, they're really on the same page in that moment.
Yeah. So, but for the same big meta reason, but I think for very different, smaller, smaller micro reasons.
Yeah, they're meeting in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, once again, that's a great step. Find a place to meet in the middle.
It sure is. And then we have a great group shot. The rest of the gang walks up to where Catra and Adora are sitting in the window, and they all majestically gaze into space together, while Entrapta runs past in the background with her antenna.
I love that. Yeah. And we have the great, what do you think's going on in Etheria right now? And then cut to jazzy little number here.
Yes, the music in this episode is amazing. And I knew that you would talk about it, so I wasn't worried about that.
I am. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but I want people to notice that throughout this episode, there is a lot of jazz influence in the score. Whereas in other episodes, it's more of the, kind of contemporary, classical with 80s and rock vibe.
Yeah, there's very period influence.
Yes.
Very, 1940s kind of jazzy kind of feel.
Yeah, this whole thing is a very mid-century vibe, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
So in this first shot of our pals back in Etheria, after Bo has said, I wonder what they're up to back home.
So good.
So we see some real quick images of our pals back in Etheria. We see Mermista putting on a fedora.
Ah!
And then we see Perfuma putting on some fabulous red lipstick, and then Seahawk adjusting some possible cufflinks.
Yes, those are definitely cufflinks.
While showing off a pocket square.
Uh-huh.
And then we see a stylized triple split screen, if you don't mind, to some fabulous footwear on all three of them.
Fantastic! I love this. I call this mid-century futurist queer design.
Sure, why not? All of our friends are in fabulous formal wear.
Incredible.
And the soundtrack is, letting us know that they're preparing for something very exciting.
Perhaps a soiree.
Perhaps. The shot pulls back and we see Mermista wearing an amazing femme suit with these turquoise epaulets. And that is the suit I wore to Buffy prom 3 years ago.
Yay! I literally have a note here that says, talk about your suit.
Yes, it's amazing.
Listeners, this suit looks really cool on Jenny.
Yes. And then Perfuma has this gorgeous teal gown with a slit up one leg.
Yeah.
And then Seahawk has this jacketless suit with the pocket square that matches Mermista's epaulets.
Yeah, he's actually, what I wrote here was that Seahawk is wearing the waistcoat that belonged to Mermista's suit. She was just like, I don't want to wear the vest.
That's perfect. Yeah, because both their outfits have gold trim.
Uh-huh. So it was like, he has his gay little earrings and cufflinks and pocket squares and mullet.
And they all look amazing. And then Scorpia is wearing her black gown from Princess Prom. It's a timeless classic. Everybody looks amazing.
And also, I wanted to shout out specifically Perfuma's accessory game here because of her wide-brimmed hat with the flower and the full-length gloves, just chef's kiss. Perfuma looks incredible. She looks like so much like your stereotypical femme fatale. It's everyone here looks incredible. I love a formal wear episode. As you all know, Mermista in a suit is up there with Catra in a suit, folks. I'm saying it.
Yeah. I mean, they all look amazing.
Incredible.
They're all at the top of their game. I think that these outfits are better than the Princess Prom outfits on the whole.
I completely agree.
Do you want to say Seahawk's amazing narration?
I absolutely do. So we go to Seahawk. It says, our friends have still not returned from their perilous space mission. So it is up to us to save Etheria. Onward to a secret underwater party adventure.
Yes. And as he says this, roses are strewn across his head from out of frame. And then Mermista next to him puts her face in her hand and groans because she's so embarrassed by Seahawk's enthusiasm.
I love that. She's like, But
Perfuma cheers because she's into it. Yeah. So of course, like, these reactions are exactly what we would expect.
Absolutely. And then we cut the theme song. What a fantastic cold open.
That was an amazing cold open.
Incredible cold open. I loved it. So we get to the theme song, credits. We have some intro notes here. I'm just going to burn through them really quick. And Jenny, if you have any mentions, please mention.
I assume we probably have the same notes. Go ahead.
Probably. So some things have changed. I'm going to go over the things that have changed. And Jenny, just jump in. One, Catra is no longer in Horde Prime's clutches in the beginning. He is now holding a glowing energy sphere. Catra's short hair Catra now in the battling She-Ra scene. But we have the new She-Ra design. And when they pull away from each other, instead of like scowling, they are smiling at each other.
That's right. It's the happy ending Catch Door credits.
I love it. And then just a quick thing. Wrong Hordak was in the last episode of the title card, but I don't think I mentioned it. So he's in this as well as Catra. And these are the most characters that we are going to see in the title card.
Yes.
And because everyone is there. If they even are like, I think I thought about the rebellion once, they're in this title card. It's friggin' everyone. So that's what I got. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I mean, I had one final note. I mean, you did cover it, but we could say more explicitly that this is our last chance to enjoy Happy, Scorpia, and Perfuma together in the title card.
You're right. Oh,
so we might as well enjoy it.
We should. Yes, absolutely. All right. So credits. We have the new changes in the credits. We still have the open question, as we do every episode, if we're going to win in the end. Jenny, what do you think?
Well, the end of this episode is probably the moment that it would be the easiest to lose heart.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're in a similar moment now in our world where, you know, everything is very dire.
Yes.
But that is part of the journey, and it is not the end of the journey. So just have to remember that you're never alone. You're part of a big team. And when things are bleakest, that's when there's the hugest amount of momentum to swing back the other way towards revolution.
The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
As, you know, the immortal MLK has said. So I believe that we will win in the end.
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny is the one that brings hope, whereas I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm going to stay on the couch.
Well, what else can you do? It's okay to have moments like that. You know, you can't stay positive every second. You got to give yourself time to breathe and rest and feel your feels.
Snuggle with your kitties, remember?
Snuggle with your kitties.
Be with your loved ones. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jenny. And I think now we're going to jump back into, more exposition.
Yes, let's jump back into the fabulous bisexual rebel tent.
So it's like we never actually left.
Yeah, so Seahawk is still narrating the plan for the secret undercover mission to find Prince Peekablue.
Yep, so we learned that Peekablue, even though Peekablue was invited to Princess Prom, did not show up because Peekablue is a hermit.
Yes.
Okay, sure. I wanted to bring up Peekablue because in He-Man and She-Ra versus Christmas special, we actually see original Peekablue in the first establishing shot where you see all of the original She-Ra rebellion characters, and she is a peacock. Like, that's it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that peacock from the original 80s She-Ra He-Man Christmas special was Peekablue.
Yep.
But it makes sense.
He-Man and She-Ra versus
Peekablue,
Christmas.
peacock.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you haven't joined us to watch it, it's a blast. It's my favorite thing that we do every year. It
is a blast. It is incredibly kitschy and fabulous.
Because it's one of the few times that we get to see Gay Uncle Skeletor.
Yes.
And I love Gay Uncle Skeletor. So, yes, I hate fun and children.
One other thing from this scene, the scene that we're actually in, that I wanted to make note of, it's just a little thing, but while, they're talking about how they will find Peekablue at the secret underwater party adventure, I want to point out Chekhov's pouty Perfuma. It's an important thing to note that Perfuma is so annoyed about how Peekablue has never once RSVP'd to any of her drum circles, so she would know how many drums to get.
I love that line, and I also love that Perfuma just straight up hosts drum circles.
Because of course she does.
And I'm not sure if this is referring to drum circles in the past or drum circles during an active invasion, but I'd like to think that she's hosting them during an active invasion as a way for community to be built.
Yeah, and for people to vent their emotions and recenter themselves in times of crisis.
It's Perfuma's art therapy group, and I love that.
Yeah. So we've established in this moment that Perfuma has never met Peekablue.
Yep. We have.
And Scorpia also makes note of this because Scorpia is sitting right next to Perfuma when she says this.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's something we're going to file away for later. Scorpia is also paying very close attention. Scorpia always pays close attention during meeting briefings. And she's the one who helpfully asks, why do we need this guy?
Uh-huh. And then we get a little exposition from Mermista.
Yes. And she jumps in with the same level of enthusiasm that she had for Mermysteries.
Uh-huh.
When explaining that this guy has the power of farsight. So they need him to tell them where Adora and the others are so they can warn them about how Prime is chipping everyone, which they don't yet know that the Space Gang already knows.
Right.
But that's why it's important to establish communication. Either way.
Exactly.
Totally chill. Mermista has assigned everyone undercover aliases.
Fantastic.
Which she is so excited to tell everyone about. And Seahawk is also excited because he gasps dramatically as she is telling everyone this.
He just gets excited.
Yes, she's probably learned about the importance of undercover aliases from the Mermysteries books. This is, a deep dive into her favorite genre. She is happy to be as in charge as she can be with this whole situation. So she assigns Scorpia the undercover alias of Linda Dareem.
Love it.
which Scorpia is a little nervous about.
Yeah, I love that she's a farmer and a mother to 5 little scorpions.
Yes.
And then we have Perfuma is Tara the blacksmith, and Perfuma's stoked.
And she has, like, for all of the confidence that Scorpio lacks, Perfuma has more than made up for with the overconfidence that she has.
Oh my God, she is all in on this, and I love that.
Yes, no evil twins, Perfuma. You're not auditioning for Juilliard.
I know, this is great. I did want to mention something that the undercover aliases actually come from the Masters of the Universe. When he started the show, Nate and the writers had the Masters of the Universe, like, Universe Bible. Mm-hmm. And that's like all the information about everything that goes on in the universe.
Oh, so these specific aliases are canonical?
Yes.
Oh.
They are the quote unquote actual names of Perfuma and Scorpia.
That is so fun.
Linda Dream was an homage to the original Scorpia actor, who was also Tila. Like, she did a bunch of the voices.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
And Tara, because she's just like an earth goddess lady. So yeah. Like a green goddess. Yeah.
That is so dope.
Yeah. So that's where those names come from.
Yay, trivia. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course it's, and I love that Perfuma wants an eye patch.
And she wants to play the evil twin.
I love that. It's just like, eye patch means evil twin.
Yes.
Which, if you think a little bit about it, is also a bit ableist, but we're not going to get into that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably thinking about, like, pirate tropes, which are ableist. Sure.
And it's one of those things where it's like, it's in the soup, right? Like, it's so deep in the soup.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's any of the characters would be saying this.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last tiny thing that happens in this scene is that as they're discussing their very smart and very crafty plans, Chipped Spinny is sneaking a peek at the door.
Yep. Uh-oh. I wonder why somebody is being an effective spy here.
Yeah, the only one who is actually an effective spy is the one that they don't know is a spy.
Which is kind of how that works, right?
Which is how that works.
That's kind of how espionage works. So, yeah. So we see Spinny and...
Yeah. And I'm sure nothing will come of that.
Nah. And then she, goes to talk to Natasha.
Yeah, and a quick flip to outside at Rebel Camp.
Uh-huh. And the choice of any chance I could steal you away for a moment, Spinny says to Natasha. And then,
after a moment where we clearly see her being so thirsty for her wifey's virgin neck. Like she's a vampire.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have that as well. This is a vampire shit, right? Like, this is absolutely like the whole thing about the back of the neck and the predatoriness is very vampire.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And Natasha doesn't notice any of that weirdness.
No, she's little heads down and she's a little preoccupied until, Spinny kind of walks away and Natasha's like, wait, is she mad at me? And Swiftwind actually does I don't know if she's feeling much of anything right now. And of course, Natasha's like, oh my God, I forgot it's our anniversary.
Yeah, luckily there was something for her to think of, to be like, oh, there is a reason.
Well, yeah, that's a valid reason.
If it didn't happen to be their anniversary on that day.
Right. And it's like, oh no. How could you forget that? That is certainly the reason why she's acting strange.
Yeah. So she jumps up to go run and fix it. I'm sure this will all be fine.
Be fine. Yeah, she's going to fix it. It'll be fine. She's just mad because it's their anniversary. That's all.
Yeah. It's a reasonable reason for someone to be acting weird.
Absolutely. So then we go back to our entrance.
Our secret bar buddies.
Yep. So we go to our underwater speakeasy entrance where I love that the bouncer just looks at them all like, who the fuck are you? And then Seahawk knows the secret word. And he kind of gives it like, okay, well, you know the speakeasy, code. So I guess come in.
The dolphins roll in the tide at dawn.
And then as they're walking in to the secret speakeasy,
Seahawk can barely contain himself. He's so excited.
Secret underwater party adventure!
Yeah. And also, though, Seahawk, like, blows all the stealth he's achieved thus far by running through the entrance and pumping his arms over his head as he yells, "Secret underwater party adventure!"
He's such a dope. Also, I've mentioned this before. This is one of my favorite jokes where you're supposed to be doing something secret. This happens again in the end of the episode, right? Where you're doing something secret and then you announce, "I'm doing something secret."
Yes. Also, the secret elevator that's disguised as a broom closet.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I love the whole, like, the nods to, like, you know, like, it's a speakeasy. I love that. That's so fun. You know?
Yeah. It's all so good.
And I love that it's a soiree. Which
yes.
makes it a little fancier.
Oh, yes.
So they're like, well, this broom closet, yeah, this is a party. And they're like, no, this isn't the soiree. And then they go into, like,
the soiree.
Elevator descent into hell, which, by the way, they are on the second to last floor. I saw that because my brain was like,
I did not pick up on that.
I did because of the, like, my brain was like, oh, so I guess the basement is where all the storage is for the bar. Like, why did my brain?
That's fair. Yeah, they have to have a place to stock all the booze.
Yeah, exactly. So they enter the soiree, and I love the set design here, the way that the backgrounds are painted, because it reminds me of Gaudi. So all the rounded natural shapes and all the arches, it's very Art Nouveau, particularly the style of the Catalan architect Gaudi. He was active from the mid-Victorian era into the mid-1920s. He was the progenitor of the Catalan modernism movement, which is also called Catalan Art Nouveau. Almost all of his work is in Barcelona, and it's all over Barcelona. If you want to look at it, look up his kind of like masterwork. It's an unfinished cathedral, and it's the Sagrada Familia.
Cool.
He went through a lot of different kinds of styles, but the one that people think of, it's a lot of these like organic shapes, arches, a lot of arches. It's very reminiscent of this, you know. It's a very particular kind of art.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The set design in the Secret Underwater Party adventure is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a mini smart brain nugget.
Awesome. I love how serious Mermista is when they get off the elevator.
Oh, she's so excited.
As she says, this place is swimming with bounty hunters, pirates, and sirens who would sell us out in the beat of their cold-blooded hearts. We need to blend in and find the prince quickly and quietly. And then she turns to Seahawk and says specifically to him, "Do not ruin this for me." Because you know that he probably will.
And he does. Because he's like, well, you don't have to tell me twice. These are my people.
Until he suddenly squeals like an adorable little child and literally hides behind Mermista's leg.
Nothing.
Like he is her 5-year-old child. And says, "I just didn't know he'd be here," which is, 2 seconds into this scene, we have our first gayest moment.
Well, I actually have specifically had the moments with Seahawk and his exes as biased moments.
Well, I mean, that's a type of gayest moment.
Sure, but it's very specific because you see that there are a lot of genders.
Right. Yes. I mean, we could call it like pan moments even, because Seahawk's exes really span the gender spectrum.
Yeah, biased moment, panist moment. But he's every single time it's just Seahawk. But to wrap it up, Seahawk is dodging exes, right? Like that's kind of the undercurrent here.
Yes. And the first of his exes is this extremely pretty man with flowing locks and an eye patch.
And an eye patch. Yeah, who's drinking a very fuzzy purple drink. Like a purple ale. I don't know. It looks like that. And of course, these are his people, which means that most of them have sworn revenge against him at some point, which makes sense if you...
Right, like he's had very messy breakups with all of his exes, basically, because he is the quintessential chaos bi.
Right, exactly. Like, when you hang out with scallywags, like that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I feel like the setting boats on fire thing is just a metaphor for having messy relationships and messy breakups.
Absolutely. Which we'll get to. We'll get to a little double entendre about that a little bit later.
For now, everyone scatters to go mingle, leaving Scorpia looking so nervous and alone.
no.
And we all feel so sad for her.
We do. Perfuma just gives her the old, like, you can do this, go mingle, good luck, Linda Dream. And Scorpia's like, oh, I can't do this. And Perfuma just jumps right in.
So then we get Seahawk and Mermista dealing with that first ex by tying him up behind the bar.
I love this part.
While Seahawk awkwardly tries to apologize for his past indiscretions using all the wrong words, and it's so, so wonderful.
All the wrong words. And I love that Mermista's like, please don't ruin this. Like the time that he ruined the Cephalopod Literary Society.
Yes.
And that immediately made me think of, do they like sit around and read like H.P. Lovecraft and Jules Verne?
Yeah, and I love that she didn't specifically say how he ruined the Cephalopods Literary Society, because it's like a callback to the Seagate when she said that he got them kicked out of the Dolphin Social because he challenged the doorman to a duel, and then he set their gondola on fire in the Tunnel of Love. Like, she was real descriptive with those.
Yeah, with this, she was a little less a little less forthcoming about his transgressions.
Like, he ruins every fancy society event that they go to. He finds a way to, very publicly and messily ruin it.
He's a mess, but he's devoted.
Yes, he certainly is. And she keeps coming back for more.
She does. And he foolishly thinks that this is the only one of his exes there.
Yes, he assures her that it'll be all good now that they dealt with that one guy.
But of course it's not.
Yes. Enter the next person to have their boat burned by Seahawk.
Oh, gosh. And so Mermista cleans up his mess here.
Yes. Every size, gender, and shape of person that could possibly cross Seahawk's path has crossed Seahawk's path. He truly has no type.
He's a fantastic bisexual chaos slut. I love him.
I love him too.
And I made this observation. We now go back to Scorpio, who's trying to mingle, and it's like,
it's so painful.
So underwater, huh? Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, a scorpion underwater, which is not like a place where scorpions are mostly found, because they're mostly, though not exclusively, but they're mostly desert animals and animals that live in drier climates. So true. Scorpia underwater is like
a fish out of water.
Right. It's the reverse of a fish out of water. And yet Scorpios are a water sign. So
is that true?
It is true. I looked it up. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
I know. I always thought it was a fire sign, but I looked it up.
Huh. How about that? Yeah, I know. Listening to her small talk. Oh, it's so gutting. She's trying so hard. She's like, yeah, totally. So, underwater, huh? Things? Yeah. Peekablue? Anybody?
Oh.
No, nobody? Okay, well, never mind. Well, good night.
And, it takes all kinds to be spies. Maybe Scorpia is just not this kind of spy, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, she's never been the mingling small talk kind of person.
No, she's not.
That is not her strong suit.
And then we kind of come in mid-conversation with Perfuma, who also another one of my favorite tropes happening here, and that's when I told him I don't even know how to swim.
Just hearing the end of a joke and not knowing the rest of it?
Yeah. The TV Tropes identifies it as the "and I said." One character walks in on another telling us the very end of a story with no context. And I love that. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite Simpsons jokes is that. But it also shows how charming Perfuma is. Like, this is like, she's really both in her role and is incredibly charming to strangers.
She's great at dealing with people.
Awesome at this.
She is crushing it.
And this is a really particular side of the charm of Perfuma, because we see Perfuma as very open-hearted and very sweet. And now we see her as being very suave. And I really like that.
Yeah, we haven't seen her like this before.
Like, she's very socially savvy, in this particular kind of situation. Like, it's cool. I dig it. And she loves acting, right? This is great.
Yeah. But then when she sees Scorpia struggling, we see how much that upsets her. We see her big gay feels eyes for Scorpia. This is another gayest moment.
This is a big gayest moment.
This episode is real gay.
So we see that, they have a nice little moment, and then back to Chaos Bisexual Royale over here.
Behind the bar.
Mermista and Seahawk, where, they're like, keep piling up the exes in the back of the bar.
Yeah, now we get to see like sort of a full 1, 2, 3 spectrum of the variety of Seahawk's disgruntled exes. So we see a cat woman, a burly sword man, and a non-binary babe who is literally stabbing a photo of Seahawk with a knife.
Yes, who we've seen that person before, I believe.
Yeah, we saw that person back in the bar in Seaworthy when we first met Seahawk. So this is a triple crown of angry exes.
Seahawk is just here being his mustache twirling dope.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready to just sort of melt into the floor. And of course, Mermista is the one who's gonna handle it, take care of business for her fainting mustachioed lover. She just vaults over that bar to beat them all up with her patented Daria groan.
And I love you hear like the punch note, like the Foley there, where you hear like the punch effect and the crashing and stuff. It's like she didn't go in there and just like, wrap people up in like water or something. She's like going in there with like fists, just like punching people. She's
gonna work some shit out on these people.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of action. There's just like, and then. So while Mermista is taking care of all of this bisexual chaos, we go back to Perfuma and Scorpia, who are regrouping. So Scorpia can get down on herself, and Perfuma can be the one to show her how awesome she really is and help her change her inner monologue.
I love this.
Because it can happen if you have someone who thinks you're awesome that can help you, move the needle on your own inner monologue.
Yeah, and especially, Perfuma called it out. Like, this is the old you talking, consumed with all the self-doubt the Horde instilled in you.
Exactly.
And Perfuma's so sweet, and this is a little light gayest moment. Where she like says that you have the biggest heart and you could do whatever you put your mind to, and she like reaches and holds her claw.
Yeah.
And this is a wonderful, sweet, intimate moment. And I have it as a light gayest moment because this could just be a wonderful, intimate moment between two characters. But it's these two characters and it's this show, so it's a gay moment.
Yeah, and they are building a foundation. It's very clear where they're headed.
Yeah, it's clear they're building a foundation for a romantic relationship. So
yeah. And Scorpia's never had anyone be good to her like this.
No, definitely. Oh, I love these two. And they're so beautiful. Well, they're pretty.
Yeah, they're a gorgeous couple.
They're dancing. They're just so pretty.
Yeah, I love watching them dance together. It's so great.
It's just, they're great. Love them.
Yeah, and I also love, in the middle of their having like this really serious, heartfelt moment, they're dancing together, discussing Scorpia's love of singing. And then in the middle of it, we get another great comic relief moment in the background of Seahawk and Mermista absconding with yet another beefcake ex of Seahawks.
Yes, I love it.
Mermista traps his head in a bubble and they grab him like the Three Stooges.
Yep.
Like boop, 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 boop.
Yep, I have that as background shenanigans. I'm glad.
Yes, absolutely. Background shenanigans.
There's shenanigans happening while these two are having a wonderful heart-to-heart. Where Perfuma, Scorpia says that she loves to sing, but everyone said she was bad at it. And Perfuma says...
Well, Katra said she was bad at it.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
But Perfuma says, and this is a really wonderful lesson that I need to tell myself all of the time, and it's, you should not do things because you're good at them, but because they make you happy.
Yes.
And
yes, girl. Yes.
Yes. And also that is such an important, it is an important thing just to hear for everything in general. It's very important. I feel like as somebody that has been a creative person my whole life, I'm always stymied by self-doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we live in a society that is so based on, production value.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The idea of just doing things because you enjoy them is not really integral to our society.
Absolutely.
So it's a really good thing to hear. It's a really good thing to reinforce. And then they dance and we all shout hooray. So gay.
They're such good girlfriends.
They are. They're wonderful girlfriends. And I love, like, as, you know, later in the season, after, you know, I guess in the very end, after they save Scorpia again from the chip, and Scorpia has, like, Frosta on her shoulders, and the three of them are together, Frosta and Perfuma and Scorpia. I feel like they're such a cute little family.
It's so good. And I think this is a really funny moment where Perfuma says, okay, repeat after me. I can do this. And Scorpia's like, Perfuma can do this. And it's like, no, sweetie.
Yes. She has no concept of what self-affirmation is.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's like, say I.
Yeah, no, you can do this. Say I. And it doesn't take much for Scorpia to start to believe it. Because again, like, someone who she thinks is great thinks she is great.
Right. And honestly, like, that's all Scorpia's kind of wanted the whole series. Like,
yeah.
We see this.
Yeah. So she really quickly flips the switch. She's like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can find Prince Peekablue.
Yeah. And Perfuma's like, yes, even if he's hidden in the darkest, most secluded corner of Etheria. And of course, he's right on the stage.
Like, boom, there he is, right on that stage under that huge spotlight. And then we get another great comedy line where they're looking at him on stage and Scorpia's like, I guess I don't know what a hermit is after all.
Which is really funny because I definitely know a lot of performers that when they are not in performance mode are just like, leave me alone, I'm a hermit in my house.
Yeah. But, you know, it's classic Scorpia comedy also.
Absolutely. And, you know, so we meet Peekablue, and Peekablue is a cabaret host.
It would seem so.
Yeah. So we have, you know, somebody that hosts a cabaret, singers, dancers, and a little bit of farsight. And so we have Perfuma is like, well, I got to go get Seahawk. Do not take your eyes off of Peekablue.
As if they don't know where he's going to be.
Right. Exactly. But we have Swen on the piano. So Swen shows up. Where's Peekablue? I don't know. But Swen shows up and starts to play.
Presumably, you know, if we didn't already know that they're all double trouble, presumably, you know, when one performer goes on, then the MC would be backstage prepping the next act. It's not like he's going to run away.
As somebody that has emceed a lot of cabaret shows, he's probably gone to the bar.
That's a good point. But he's not going to flee the premises.
He's not going to flee the premises, though.
But we will flee over to Rebel Camp for just a hot sec. I just love, this is quintessential Natasha. She's talking to herself. She's so upset that she's forgotten her anniversary because now she'll definitely lose the Who Planned a Better Anniversary surprise competition with her wife.
This is one of the reasons where Natasha should be like, wait a minute, this isn't my wife, because she would obviously be gloating, right? Like,
well, maybe she thinks that Spinny is waiting, you know, for the end of the day when she presents her surprise to be like, haha, and you forgot, so I win. Here's my great surprise.
Good call. That is very much them.
Yes. But then as she approaches, she sees something suspicious.
What? Yeah, there's suspiciosity happening.
Yes.
The transcript that I have here says another woman approaches Spinny and whispers in her ear while Natasha watches from behind a rock. But then, Jenny.
Yes?
Spinny's eyes start to glow.
Yes, we see some green glowy eye action.
Oh no! Oh no! There's been one of them among us the whole time. And it's Spinnerella, Natasha's wonderful wife.
Yes. So that's very upsetting. Very upsetting anniversary present for Natasha.
Yes, but it's a quick scene because now we're back at the bar.
Yes, it's a very quick revelation, and then we boop right back to the secret underwater party adventure.
Where there are a whole bunch of exes just tied up behind the bar.
Yes. Seahawk and Mermista are still behind the bar.
Yep.
Mermista has had it with this side quest.
But it looks like, you know, according to Seahawk, he's counted them. They're all there.
Yes. Seahawk assures her that they are indeed done with this. Mm-hmm. Now at last, they are ready to get on with their mission.
Yes, their secret undercover and underwater party adventure.
Yes.
And they get up and Mermista now goes, oh God.
Yes. What's this? Suddenly Mermista is the one who is blushing and gasping and ducking down behind the bar with apparent embarrassment.
Well, it turns out that there may have somebody made be here that absolutely cannot deal with right now.
Someone whose boat she maybe sort of kind of set on fire.
She just wanted to know what it felt like.
She just wanted to know what it felt like.
I have this as a biased moment or panist moment. Obviously, this is like single entendre. This is not even a double entendre.
No.
This kind of cements this whole thing. I feel like this is the most that they've ever kind of alluded to, like the bisexuality of the both of them in very not veiled ways. Like,
I mean, it's so on the surface.
It's the wink nudge that's a really big nudge and a really like, wah, ah. That's the sound, by the way, of somebody like doing really obvious wink.
Yeah. Another thing I love about this moment is in Seahawk's reaction, which of course, this is how he would react. He's so happy. Mm-hmm. You know, he just says, she puts her hand over his mouth because she doesn't want to hear it, but he just says, "You're everything I've ever wanted." You know, when we first met Seahawk, I remember saying how I assumed that he was going to be a different kind of male character, you know, like in a world more like the world that we live in, he would be more like a Han Solo, kind of like a cocky asshole, but that's not him at all.
Yeah, agreed.
And so in this moment, if he were a different kind of man, he would be more gloaty. He'd be like, "Oh, you always act so superior, but you're just like me. You're not better than me." That's how he might react if he were more of a stereotypical cis man, say. But he's not like that.
He's so in love with her right now.
Yeah, he's just so happy.
He's
that,
so
you know,
happy.
She is everything he's ever wanted. She does understand his kink and she shares it.
I know.
And, you know, he's not taking advantage of her embarrassment. He's not like, "Oh, I have power over you now and I'm going to tease you about it." Like, he would never do that.
No.
And he's just a cinnamon roll.
He is such a cinnamon roll. I love him.
So it's a beautiful moment.
It is a beautiful moment.
Even when she's embarrassed by him and the parts of herself that remind her of him, he just loves her. And he's great.
Oh, he's great. The two of them are
great.
They're great. They're so fun. And we're coming up on actually one of my absolute favorite moments in the entire show.
Of course.
And I would love to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. Shall we talk about Scorpia and her musical number?
Yeah. So Scorpia there's some jazz music about, and then we have some other musicians come on stage. Scorpia sneaks on stage, tries to peek backstage, look for Peekablue. The music stops, and we have a spotlight on Scorpia. And it kind of starts like a nightmare. Like that nightmare where it's like, "Oh my God, I'm on stage and I don't know my lines." Like,
right. It's like Willow's nightmare in Buffy.
It's like Willow's nightmare. As a musician, I've had this nightmare before where I show up to a gig and I don't have my instrument. Like, so it's very common. It's like, "Oh my God, I'm not prepared." But we have Scorpia is now center stage with a spotlight on her, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Linda Dream," and you know the whole place is quiet and everyone is watching her, and you know, of course, Mermista is like, "Oh my God, everything is a shit show here. These people," and Scorpia is like, "I'm trying to get backstage. I'm a performer," and the microphone.
Right, because she doesn't have a reason to be standing on stage. In the middle of the show.
Yeah, and it's dead silent, and then we have some like mic feedback because she's just standing there, nothing's going on. And you just hear Perfuma say, "Go, Linda!"
Yes, Perfuma has so much confidence in her.
I love this, and that's what she needed.
Yeah, once again, if someone you think is great thinks you're great, it can really boost you up from a bad place into a place where you can get through some shit.
Yeah. And then she busts into a song
that doesn't compromise their undercover identities at all.
Not at all. So this is the song.
Sneak, don't make sound. Sneak, just look around. I've always been strong, but now my nerves are gone, 'cause I know I can do it. Sing, dance, be a spy, hiding before your very eyes. How could I sneak with this fine physique? Discover the truth, it doesn't take a sleuth. For now I'm a spy, spying in disguise, hiding before your very eyes. Until you discover, stay undercover, seeking a clue that will lead me to you. Yes, I'm a spy, spying in disguise, hiding before your very eyes. Sneak, don't make a sound. Sneak, just look around. I'm a spy, I'm a spy, I'm a spy.
Also, before you go into your what will be an amazing Professor Smartbrain moment, I just want to add the fabulous moment where Perfuma throws her a rose. So it's in the middle of the song. Perfuma, grows a rose and throws it up onto the stage as Scorpia is singing.
Yes, it's fantastic.
And it's part of the gay fabulousness.
Yes, this is definitely a gayest moment.
Yes. So let's hear some musical wisdom about this amazing music.
Okay, so my Professor Smartbrain moment, Jenny, I'm going to talk to you about the genre, the micro, might not even be a genre of spy music.
Nice.
Spy music.
Lay it on me, man.
So what we kind of understand as spy music, which I'm going to describe, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, totally, came about in the early to mid 60s during the spy craze. So it was the peak Cold War, and espionage movies, books, and shows were huge. And we can kind of pinpoint this between about like 1958, 1959 to about 1967, 1968 is kind of where like you would see spy films and spy TV shows everywhere. And this was kicked off by, you may have guessed this, the massively popular James Bond books and subsequent films.
Makes sense.
Yes. So I'm not even going to get into James Bond because it's its entirely own thing. But in 1962, the film Dr. No, which is the first James Bond movie, came out. In the late 50s and early 60s, the James Bond novels written by Ian Fleming were incredibly popular, and they were adapted into films that have started in the 60s and still go on today. I love a James Bond movie. I think they're fantastic.
I've actually never seen a James Bond movie.
They're awesome. So the thing that's interesting about the James Bond movies is that they portray like a spy as a cosmopolitan, worldly person. James Bond is a very cosmopolitan, worldly person, can feel just as comfortable like sneaking into a secret underground, lair and like killing people with judo as he is like walking into a casino in Monaco and ordering a dry martini. So there's a cool factor to James Bond that wasn't in kind of like spy understandings until the James Bond films came out. During this time, two really big spy thriller films are classic films, The Manchurian Candidate and Charade. Charade is a fantastic movie with Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn. Spy comedies like In Like Flint, which was itself a parody of James Bond and directly inspired the Austin Powers movies. And there were so many TV shows that were kind of spy and spy adjacent in this particular kind of aesthetic. So Mission Impossible, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Danger Man, which was secret agents of the United States, The Avengers, Get Smart.
I've heard of Get Smart. My mom liked that one. Get
Smart was a comedy. It was also Mel Brooks wrote for it. Huh. I Spy had Bill Cosby in it. And then there are other things that came out around the same era, weren't specifically spy, but had the same vibe, and also kind of had that whole feel of like espionage light, whether there was like, you know, a master thief like the Saint, or a detective, but not like a noir detective, but more of like a detective searching for heists instead of murder. And we have that in the case of the Pink Panther. And so why am I bringing up the Pink Panther and all of these other shows? Like, okay, well, first of all, spy music really originated from film soundtracks. At the time, film soundtracks used a lot of jazz and rock and roll. They were incorporating a lot of different jazz and rock and roll. So when I talked about detective music, when we talked about Mermysteries, it's kind of the same vibe. But there's some kind of key differences here. The detective music that was used in like the noir style was more influenced by bebop and cool jazz, while spy music was more influenced by big band and bossa nova, as well as contemporary rock and roll music for the early 60s. So that also brought in kind of the instrumentation is different. There's a lot more guitar. There's a lot of guitar in spy music. A twangy guitar is the key sound. So here is the intro. This is the Dr. No theme, or the James Bond theme. It was written by Monty Norman and arranged by John Barry for the 1962 James Bond debut Dr. No, which I talked about. This song and subsequent James Bond themes became the blueprint for spy music. It's just so you can see it utilizes traditional like orchestras for film soundtrack, as well as a lot of rock and jazz instruments and instrumentation. Some important composers you can look up: John Barry, Lalo Schifrin, who was a Argentinian bossa nova and jazz player. He actually played with Quincy Jones. He wrote the Mission Impossible theme. Henry Mancini is also one. He wrote the theme for the Pink Panther. And Edwin Astley, who was a British composer who wrote the theme for shows like The Saint. These tropes and these motifs are used any single time you see spy stuff. It's a shorthand for espionage or spies. In popular music, the genre was especially influential in 90s electronic music, specifically in trip hop and big beat genres. An example here, a quick sample from Mission Impossible soundtrack. And then I'm going to play you some Portishead.
Oh, nice. It's finally something I know.
So, very influential. Okay, so going through all of this, why am I bringing this up in particular right now? So Scorpia is about to sing a song that is a pastiche of the classic James Bond theme Goldfinger, which is a bombastic, cinematic, jazz-tinged tune composed by John Barry, remember John Barry, and sung by the incomparable Shirley Bassey. And you can see, we're going to listen to, I'm going to play some parts of it. You can listen to the full song on the playlist. But the part that is very specifically similar to Scorpia's song is this ending. It's the repeating phrase and then the big, long, sustained note at the end. So listen for that.
This heart is cold.
you see how it's, I'm a spy.
Yes.
Compared to that to like, he loves only gold. Like it's.
Yes. That's very cool.
So fun fact about this, and then we're going to wrap our moment. Shirley Bassey almost passed out doing that last take and had to sneak behind some studio dividers and take off her bra in order to hit those notes.
Oh.
I know, like shit was bonkers in the back in the day. Also, Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin were rumored to be on the track since they were well-known London studio musicians at the time.
That is a lot of interesting music trivia.
It can only scratch the surface here. And I really only went really surface because I will talk forever about this.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole separate podcast that was just the music of She-Ra.
Sure. But I generally don't do this. But I do recommend listening to the playlist specifically for this episode so you can get an understanding of where all of these musical motifs and tropes come from, and then notice them when you're watching other shows.
Thank you, Meph. That was really cool and interesting stuff. And, I always know whenever we're preparing an episode that has really good music and I'm like, this music is cool. I don't know what to say about it, but Meph will cover it, so I'm not worried. We are such complementary opposites. We're the perfect Pisces Virgo combo.
We are the perfect Pisces Virgo combo. You crush it. You're the best, Jenny.
I love you, man.
Love you too, man. All right, so let's get back into our scene.
All right, so we finished Scorpia's song. I'm a spy. I'm a spy. Bum bum.
People love it, Jenny. They love it. They're so happy.
Yes, everyone is super into Scorpia. She's finally getting some of the applause that she deserves. Yes, she cannot stay and enjoy her applause.
Unfortunately.
She's got a job to do. She's got to sneak backstage.
Yep.
She's finally going to meet Peekablue, or so she thinks.
So at first, Peekablue does some classic, cold reading stuff on her. It's like, oh, but don't you need to find your friends? I mean, Glimmer and Adora? Yes,
wow,
I see a shiny woman.
Names?
Yeah.
Farsight, man.
Right,
yes.
Exactly. It's like, okay.
I see a mighty warrior woman, She-Ra, fighting Horde Prime with her mighty sword in space.
And wait. You can't fighting with her sword, but Adora broke the sword, which he's lying, but it's true.
Yes, and so Scorpia doesn't know about the resurrection of She-Ra with the new sword. And Scorpia's like, wait, no, the sword is broken. And Peekablue says, Farsight never lies, darling.
But it's funny because Peekablue doesn't, it's Double Trouble. Spoiler alert.
Right. Double Trouble doesn't know either about anything that happened, but it is actually true. But what does first tip Scorpia off that Peekablue might not really be Peekablue is when he says that he needs to get into character for his next performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Scorpia's antenna goes up. She's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And she says, I think we've met before at Perfuma's Flower Crown workshop. And of course, hearkening back to Chekhov's Pouty Perfuma.
Love it.
We all know that Perfuma and Peekablue have never met.
Yep. But, she is a doll. Of course.
Yes, of course.
But Scorpia, hey, that's some good spy stuff you did there. Good spy work, Scorpia.
Yes. See, she's not just the muscle.
Nope.
So she catches the imposter with a little boop of her scorpion tail.
We see Peekablue morph into all of
every
the people.
character that Double Trouble has ever impersonated.
Which, does that happen every time you, boop a shapeshifter? They have to go through, all of them?
I don't know if every time you boop them with poison.
Right, it feels like it's like a reboot where it's like, oh, I had to reboot my computer now. All of the files that I just had open for the past, 2 years are now opening up at the same time again. Is it like that, but,
Could
with
be.
identity, I guess? Okay. So... But it's Double Trouble.
Yes. And I love this line, I'm sure everyone does, when everyone asks Double Trouble where the real Peekablue is. And Double Trouble says, After things ended with my cash kitten, I needed another gig. I'd heard all about the elusive Peekablue, a seer who no one has seen in years. How could I resist?
I know, it's so good.
It's a great line. The cash kitten is probably the best part.
Cash kitten is great. And I love that, we have Double Trouble is very much this chaotic neutral character. It was just yep.
Need another gig. And this was a fun challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, look, they play multiple roles per night.
Yeah, they get to play all the performers.
Right. They're singing, they're acting.
They're a one-person variety show now. Of course that's fun. And so even though they do not have the prince's cool powers, they do still have the information that our pals are seeking.
They do.
And they'll share it for a price. But that is no longer the power dynamic that is happening here.
It really isn't. I love that Perfuma makes a menacing rose thorn fist.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that's a great weapon.
Yeah, and Scorpia's right there, but Scorpia's not the one who does the physical intimidation.
Nope.
Perfuma takes the lead on that. So right here, Double Trouble says that they spent time wandering the occupied territories, trying to get in good with Big Brother, and that is a reference to George Orwell's classic dystopian novel 1984. But they were ultimately just not into the whole totalitarian hegemony / mind control thing.
Sure, because they're chaos. Yeah, because they're chaos. That doesn't work for chaos.
Yes, that's not fun for a chaotic neutral.
No.
And then they give the shocking reveal that even here at the secret underwater party adventure, at least half the crowd is chipped.
Oh my gosh.
But that's not all. We get even more exposition that Prime is angry that She-Ra stole his pet kitty.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
And then we get, DT brings it home with all the rest of the exposition. Space Squad is on their way home, but they will encounter Prime's blockade and just be totally fucked. And just as Double Trouble is revealing this final revelation of doom, we see Mermista, who was separated from the group, approaching from a dark and foreboding hallway. And then the final shot of this scene is her overtaking the camera in shadow very ominously, just as Double Trouble says, they'll never make it.
Such a cool scene.
Yeah, so that's the end of this scene. And so now I'm going to do a quick deep dive on George Orwell in 1984.
Yay!
Because of Double Trouble's reference to Horde Prime as Big Brother. So if you haven't read 1984, I highly recommend it. It's sadly more relevant now than ever.
Yeah.
This is a dystopian novel by British author George Orwell. It was published in June of 1949. It was his 9th and final book. It's considered a literary classic of political and dystopian fiction. And sadly, again, more relevant now than ever, particularly in the area of how our government has made the concept of truth and lies meaningless. Thematically, it centers on the consequences of totalitarianism, mass surveillance, and repressive regimentation of people and behavior within society. Orwell was a British author. He was a democratic socialist and anti-Stalinist, and he modeled the authoritarian socialist Britain of the novel on a combination of Stalinist Russia and the practices of state censorship and propaganda in Nazi Germany. More broadly, the novel examines the role of truth and facts within society and the ways in which they can be manipulated. Again, this is very familiar stuff.
We have always been at war with, and then they keep changing who we've always been at war with. Yes.
Right. Exactly. There's a lot of vocab words in the book. A big one is doublespeak.
Yep.
So, for example, when food rations would be cut, they would announce, Big Brother has increased our food rations, hooray! And they would all celebrate, even though everyone knows that there were actually more food rations yesterday, and we actually have less today, but they would just announce it as an increase, and everyone is expected to celebrate. Whatever they say today is true today.
Yep.
So we can correlate this, for example, to Trump firing the labor secretary because he doesn't like the numbers in the labor secretary's report. If the guy gives a bad report, just fire him. Fuck that guy. Doesn't matter, if his report was accurate or not. Just fire whatever people you don't like in their numbers. You just create the truth every day that you want to have, you being, Big Brother, the despot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So in the dystopian future of the novel, which is now our past, but just ignore that, the world is in a perpetual state of war, and Britain has become just a province of the totalitarian superstate called Oceania, led by Big Brother, a dictatorial leader supported by an intense cult of personality, which is
weird.
something, again, that we can relate to, manufactured by the party's thought police. The party engages in omnipresent government surveillance, and through their Ministry of Truth, they practice historical negationism, which is different from historical revisionism, which I'll get into in a second, and constant propaganda to persecute individuality and independent thinking. So historical negationism is basically what it sounds like. Distinct from historical revisionism, where historical revisionism is a broader term encompassing academic reinterpretations of history, driven by perhaps new evidence or reasoning, historical negationism specifically refers to deliberate falsification of historical records, using knowingly illegitimate methods such as presenting forged documents as genuine, knowingly forged documents as genuine, manipulating statistics or falsifying translations intentionally. And though George Orwell was already a well-established author before this book, including another dystopian novel he wrote, Animal Farm, that came out in 1945, it was this book, 1984, that popularized the term Orwellian as a synonym for dystopian. And according to the New York Times, it's the most widely used adjective derived from the name of a modern writer.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. As of an article they wrote in 2003. So it's possible that in the last 20 years, another author has overtaken Orwell as an author whose name has become an adjective, but I don't think so. Time magazine also included it on its list of the 100 best English language novels published from 1923 to 2005, which is a weird bracket of time to make your top 100 novels. Like, why not have it be 1905 to 2005? But who knows why. And it was placed on Modern Library's 100 Best Novels list, reaching number 13 for the editor's picks and number 6 on the reader's picks. And in 2003, it was also listed as number 8 on the Big Read survey by the BBC. So it's an important novel. I read it when I was 10. I just picked it up off my camp counselor's bed.
Yeah, I read it really young too.
Yeah. And I was absolutely hyperfixated on it that whole summer. As soon as I finished it, I read Animal Farm, because I finished it and I was like, has this guy written any other books?
Has he?
Yeah, so I read Animal Farm right after, and I enjoyed it also, but it didn't have the same impact as 1984. It's an incredible book. So I highly recommend it, especially now. Of course, if you feel like, you can barely handle the world and reading a fictionalized version of it is going to send you over the edge, maybe don't read it. But it's a really good book. There's also a love story at the heart of it. So it's got that, that personal impact. It doesn't have a happy ending, but I don't think you could expect it to have a happy ending. I'll leave you with one fun fact, so you're not left with like, oh, horror of horrors at the end of this. When I read the book, I was 10 years old. And even though I was a very advanced reader, there was one word in the book that I didn't know. And of course, since it was 1989, when I was 10, I couldn't just Google it. And I was at camp, so I didn't even have a dictionary with me. They use the word proles as a shorthand for proletariat. And if I didn't know the word proletariat, but it was clear from context clues that it meant the masses. And so I just assumed it was some sort of shorthand. I knew the word proliferate or proliferation. So I was like, well, the masses. So the masses proliferate. So I just understood it that way.
Hey, I mean, that's why people are encouraged to learn Latin before their SATs.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't ever learn Latin, but I knew a lot of roots of words. So, I got there.
You're a smart cookie, that's why.
Yeah.
You're a smart cookie.
It's a good book. It helps me understand the world, and it's as relevant as ever.
Yep.
And, Double Trouble read it too. They're a smart cookie.
Double Trouble also read 1984. If there is a version of 1984 on Etheria, Double Trouble definitely read it.
Yes, yes.
Well, thanks, Jenny.
Yeah, no worries.
Love it. Love a good deep dive into terrifying dystopian future past.
Well, if you're going to be effective at changing the world, you have to understand it.
That's very true.
So we are all duly prepared.
Yeah.
Shall we bounce back to Rebel Camp?
Oy. Must we? Yes, we must.
It'll be fine.
It'll be
Nothing bad will happen here.
It'll be fine. No vampires here.
No vampires, no pod people.
No.
Just
no
happy
zombies.
Gaons celebrating their anniversary.
I love them. Hey, no, it's Natasha is really sorry about today. She forgot all about it.
Yeah, she pretends to be casual, but totally sucks at it.
Yeah, she does. And Spinny is like, "Don't worry, all is forgiven."
All is forgiven.
And it's like,
so creepy,
right? It's also like that's so not a spin, a Spinny thing, right?
Yeah, that's not something that anyone normal would just say to their spouse.
No,
all is forgiven.
All is forgiven. Also, like, you forgot our anniversary. I mean, that is understandable if you're in the middle of like fighting for your life every single day. That's understandable.
Right, but they're having some downtime.
Right, and days. Also like no one says all is forgiven.
Right, exactly.
Right? It's like, ugh, that sucks. But yeah, I get it. Maybe when the world isn't ending, we'll go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the jig is 100% up.
100%
when
up.
Spinny uses the wrong pet name. Beloved. And then that reminds me of Toni Morrison's book, Beloved, which is also super creepy.
Which is also, also not a great ending.
Dead babies, pod people, totalitarian authoritarian regimes. We've got so many fun references in this episode.
Right? This episode is like I said in the beginning, like you remember the parts that are like, what a lighthearted romp.
Yeah, and you forget all the horrors.
And then you're like, oh my God.
You forget, show me your neck.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And then, so when Spinny's eyes start to glow green, her hair also starts to float. And I have a note here that when your hair billows majestically in a non-existent breeze, you're either having a big damn hero moment or a scary evil monster reveal.
Yep, this is a scary evil monster reveal. I mean, like with the green eyes and the floating hair, contrast that with when Adora turns into She-Ra, Avatar She-Ra, and we have the blue eyes with the floating hair.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
so
not
Spinny's
good.
eyes go full Prime, including the white irises. And that only happens when Prime is possessing someone. And so her voice gets layered with Prime's voice. As she says, what a shame we can't be together in Horde Prime's light. So now Natasha is realizing in horror that all the rebels have been chipped by her wife.
This is some zombie movie shit.
It's some zombie movie shit, and it's like the double gut punch of knowing that not only is everyone a zombie, but it's her wife that did it.
Yeah. Though, okay, just like one thing, right? Like, she didn't chip her when they share a bed together?
It's a really good point.
It's like, anyway, whatever, it's fine. Like, it obviously doesn't take very long because as we go back to the secret underwater party adventure, we see, that Mermista now has a chip.
Right. But I just want to go back, before we go back to the secret underwater party adventure, Natasha's last line is so heartbreaking. She looks around at all the chipped rebels, and then she looks back at Spinny, and she says, like, in just the most agonized, heartbroken voice, what have you done?
Oh gosh, it's heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
So that's the end of that scene. I just didn't want to miss that line because it's so gutting.
Absolutely.
We have to make sure we gather up all those delicious little nuggets of heartbreak.
Absolutely. And then, we jump to, now we go and see how quick and easy it is to put a chip in.
Right.
So
Mermista's been chipped, and in a moment that none of us saw, it happened so fast.
Right. It's like she was being snarky about like Scorpia's performance, and then like she got chipped, but Seahawk didn't, even though they've been next to each other the whole time.
We don't know. I mean, we didn't see how Spinny got chipped either. She got separated you know, from the group for like 2 minutes.
Right. It's like, it doesn't take that long.
Doesn't take long.
No,
you're right. I can't believe I never thought about that either. How did Spinnerella not chip Natasha when they were asleep in bed together?
Right. Anyway.
Well, you know, it's a PG show.
It's a PG.
We don't see them when they're asleep in bed together.
No, but like getting up early in the morning, you know, like brushing their teeth is like, no.
Listen, if I'm not allowed to question how they can have light during the day with no sun to reflect off the moon, and if they're allowed to have hair holes in their spacesuits, we can't ask questions like this. This is in the hair holes in spacesuits levels of questioning. Yes. Double Trouble is super annoyed to still be tied up, though. They're like, are we done here?
The cut from Natasha saying, "What have you done?" to Double Trouble saying, "Are we done here?" Like,
it's a big tone shift.
Yeah. But no, we're not done there because
there is a terrifying monster attack coming.
We have Shaded in Darkness. We just hear glass cracking and water gushing, and Mermista is chipped and in shadow, and people are like, "Holy fuck, what's going on?" Perfuma asks, "What are you doing?" And of course, Mermista says, "Step out of the darkness and into the light of Prime," and then steps out of the darkness.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Visual storytelling. We love you. And Seahawk is devastated. And we're all devastated, right?
Of course.
Like, not all of us are as devastated as Seahawk, but we're all pretty devastated.
We're all pretty devastated.
Yeah.
Yes. And Perfuma defends, and Scorpia steps up to help her. And then Double Trouble says, as they are still tied up, "We're in a delicate underwater bubble, so can you all please stop hitting one another?"
Double Trouble brings up one good point, and I have another good point that Double Trouble should have brought up, but I think it's a hair holes and spacesuits type of thing. Why are you shooting electricity when you're surrounded by seawater?
It's a very good point.
Anyway, hair holes in space.
But her electricity has some sort of magical powers, though. Because in the beginning, we see her electricity contributing to the cracks in the glass, and then at the end of the scene, we see it like healing the cracks in the glass.
Yeah, I don't
get it. It's a little magical.
It's a little magical. What I got from that part is, so have you ever seen, like, I think it's lightning glass? Have you ever seen that? When lightning hits, it's when lightning hits like sand on a beach, it automatically turns it into glass.
No, I haven't.
Like, not automatically. It's not like, transubstantiation, but it's like
right.
Science happens and it turns it into glass. But it's like the glass is kind of the shape of the electrical current.
No, that's so cool.
They have it at the Museum of Science in Boston. I remember going when I was a little kid. I remember seeing it. But yeah, so maybe it's like a sea glass, like a lightning glass. I think that's the name of it. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. heyadorakast@gmail.com. Maybe it's like one of those things where it's like the lightning is so hot that it's like fusing the glass together. I'm reaching for that, but I'm not reaching for like, why wouldn't they be electrocuted? Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not a great place for heavy fighting.
No, it's not. And I'm glad that Double Trouble says that because they're correct. So Scorpia grabs Double Trouble, flings them over her shoulder, and they try to leave.
Yes. But it's hard to escape now because they all find themselves totally surrounded by glowing green eyes of the pod people.
Yeah, this is some like this particular is like Night of the Living Dead type of shit.
Yeah. Now, Double Trouble said before that half the crowd was chipped, but it looks like all of them.
And that's kind of threw me off too, because I was like, is it one of those things where they knew like in the beginning that maybe half the crowd was chipped, or that like since the rebellion walked in, whoever was like part of the chipped group was like, we got to step it up because they know us.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe the chipping action got stepped up because they got there.
Did somebody like jump behind the bar and chip all the exes that were all tied up too? Like, many questions here.
Yeah. It doesn't matter either way. But it would make sense that, if Prime is just sort of peeking in like once every hour, or has someone below him who's peeking in once every hour, and they're like, oh, the rebellion's here. Better step up, pod people production.
Exactly. So anyway.
Yes. So Scorpia says there's no way out, and then Double Trouble has their best line of the episode. Would you like to take it?
I do. Double Trouble says, I know a way out. Take me to the stage. I mean it. Take me to the stage. And it's
so fabulous.
I love that. And I also, I love this. I love Ever the Queen. But you know what? Hey, it actually makes sense.
The theater queen.
Love a theater queen. So they ever go to the stage.
Yes. And then we have an awesome actions transition from the underwater party back to rebel camp. I love a good transition.
We do. And there's just a...
Yeah. And so now we see Natasha trying so hard to fight, but there's no way she can fight everyone off by herself.
Yep.
We see Swifty and Frosta get blasted on their butts near her by Micah.
Yes.
At least now she has Swifty and Frosta near her and she can protect them with her net. But things are looking very grim at Rebel Camp. And that is all we see before we bounce back to the secret underwater party adventure.
Yeah, the Micah reveal is really intense.
It's rough because he got power.
Yeah, you just see like this massive like energy come in and knock people over, and you look, and then he comes out of the shadow and he glows, and it's whew. Oh boy,
yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. So then because we're kind of at the end of the episode, all of the Allot is just piling on top of each other. There's just more Allot happening.
It's like we've got two different scenes where the chaos and the action is just reaching a fever pitch.
Yep. So we cut back to the secret underwater party adventure, the soiree. It's not really a party anymore. This is just a brawl. We're at this is a brawl.
Yes, we've got Scorpion and Perfuma are still trying to fend off the chipped crowd, while Seahawk helps Double Trouble lift their hand dramatically to the heavens as they proclaim, "The theater has many secrets."
And I love that when Double Trouble was like, "I need help, lift my hand to the heavens."
Yes.
But Seahawk's like, "Oh, exactly, just like this, of course," because they're both drama queens.
Yeah, the two of them are definitely on the same page in some ways.
Yeah.
They would be great together if they had the chance to be scene partners more often.
Oh my gosh, that would be. They would. You know what? They would host a cabaret together.
Oh my God, yes. Double Trouble and Seahawk's cabaret night. That would be bang.
Oh my God, it would be ridiculous. Yeah, that would slap. I would go to that.
Yes. But for right now, Double Trouble pulls a secret rope in the floor, which controls a secret elevator that drops from the chandelier.
Love it.
Fabulous.
Love it. Such a speakeasy move, too. It's like, well, the performers have to get out first before they get raided by the cops, right? So
absolutely.
Fantastic. And so they're all piling in, and Scorpia's like, "I'll hold them off. Get on the platform." And what? No.
Yes. Perfuma is devastated by the idea that Scorpia is going to be left behind.
Scorpia is holding everything together and battling Mermista. Yes. So it's like she's doing so much right now and is being self-sacrifice gal.
Yeah, as more cracks are appearing and water is gushing in everywhere, and Scorpia's final few lines, she's so calm now because she knows what she has to do, and she's totally confident that she can do it.
Yeah.
She says there's too many of them, and this place is coming down unless someone stops it. You have to get out of here and protect the others. And Perfuma is just not okay with leaving anyone behind, especially Scorpia.
Yeah.
And she sends out a vine rope to pull her in, but Scorpia is resolute.
Yep.
And she says her final line with just so much love and conviction. She says, "Nah, this is why I'm here. I'm the muscle, remember?" And then she looks back at Perfuma as she says, "I can do this."
Oh. Because Scorpia, first of all, as sad as this is the gayest moment because Scorpia as a loving and protective muscle mommy, fantastic, love her.
Yes.
Gay. But also this is actually what Scorpia can do. She protects her friends.
Yes.
That's what she feels comfortable. That's where she feels confident in doing, is protecting her friends. And it's not just about being the muscle, but about being a protector.
Yeah, she's protecting everyone in this moment.
But that's what it is. It's like she is a protector.
Yeah.
She's so good.
She's so good.
And they escape. They go up the tube.
Yeah, and so she snips the vines with her claw. Perfuma falls back in the elevator. And then as Perfuma and Seahawk and Double Trouble escape, their last image that they see is Scorpia using her full strength to send out massive electricity that somehow seals all the cracks, even though it caused the cracks before. But that's okay. And they see Scorpia saving everyone as they escape.
And so they don't know if Scorpia's alive or not. Like,
no.
The best case scenario is that Scorpia's alive and gets chipped, but like they don't know if any of them survived. Right?
But we see her electricity sealing up all those holes.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to assume that everyone has survived.
Okay. That's fair.
But I'm willing to concede that there is some lack of certainty.
Some doubt. Yeah, there's some lack of certainty, I think. Yikes. Ugh.
But it's rough.
Everything here is rough. We're like rough going on all the way out. So
yeah, because then as soon as we jump back to the rebel camp, my first bullet is everything is fire.
Everything is fire. There's just it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and like Natasha is, fighting, like she's making these like animalistic grunting noises the way you do when like you're straining with like your very last ounce of strength.
Yes.
She's got a net up to protect herself, Swifty, and Frosta. Mm-hmm. But, they're massively outnumbered. Like, it seems like it's just a matter of time.
So she does this final, like, deep, like, reaching in, getting all of her energy, and casts a net over all of the people attacking her.
Right. She, like, flips it from protecting the three of them
to holding them.
Like, holding in everyone else so they have a moment to jump on Swifty and get away. And as she does it, she says, "I'm sorry," to Spinny.
And then they jump on, Frosta and Natasha jump on Swiftwind. And she, like, the final moment, she just glances back and says, "Happy anniversary."
And she's crying. And we're all crying. How many gay tears can one episode hold that doesn't even have really any Catradora?
It's true. The Catradora it has is great, but it's happy Catradora.
Yeah, but it's just like 2 seconds.
I know. Well, I guess it's time for us to check back in on Mara's ship.
Guess so. We had our one tiny scene in Darla at the beginning, and now we are back to our Darla gang for 2 seconds now at the end. Because Entrapta has finally gotten that signal that she was trying to get on her pad.
Oh, that's great. And it's Perfuma.
It's so exciting. Hey,
yay!
pals.
We love Perfuma. Oh, God, things aren't great. Adora's like, we're on our way back. We're almost there. And Perfuma's like, don't. There's a trap. You won't make it. And then lets them know that the rebellion has been compromised. Horde Prime has them.
We lost. I'm so sorry. We lost them.
And then it goes black.
Yeah. And the signal cuts out as we see Perfuma like running out of frame.
Yep.
So there's this like sense of, even though we got the message, we can't get back in touch with her now because the signal's been cut out. And there's this clear sense of, frantic action.
Yep. Yeah.
It's incredibly distressing.
It's distressing. And then, that's it.
And then the ending of that scene, just sort of all of them standing around in shocked silence. The heaviness of that.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
That is.
What the hell?
But it's not the end of the story.
It's not. So then we all scream. I don't want to blow up my mic, but that's what it sounds like.
So it's an important moment to remember that the end of the episode is not the end of the story.
That's true. The story does not end.
So that is another good thing to relate to our real lives in this moment right now that we are in.
Damn right. And that actually segues really nice into, hey, Jenny.
Hey, Meph.
What did we learn today?
Woo. Well, we learned a lot of cool shit about spy music.
We did.
And we learned that big, scary moments that feel like the end are not always the end, and that it's okay to rest and take the time you need to feel them, but it doesn't mean that shit is over.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, folks, if you liked what you heard and you want to join us in a secret underwater party adventure, thank you. You can like and follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, where you should like and comment and follow and give us all of the love at HeyAdoraCast. Or you can email us your favorite underwater party adventure outfit at heyadoracast@gmail.com.
Yes.
And in case you didn't know this, we have a Patreon.
Yeah, we do.
That's really cool.
You can come chat with us about all of your favorite party outfits.
Yeah.
And all of your cool ideas for how to topple oppressive regimes.
Yeah, we'd love that. That's pretty much all we talk about on our Patreon Discord. You get access, if you become a member of the Rebellion, get access to our Patreon Discord. Other fantastic perks. We do Patreon-only live watches and video hangouts. It's a blast. Just hang out with us. And you can find the link to our Patreon, as well as the link to this week's Spotify playlist, Perils of Peekablue, in our show notes, or at heyadora.gay.
That's right, folks. You know you can always find all of our shit at heyadora.gay.
Damn right. And remember, and please keep remembering this and hold it to your heart and live with it, that queer joy is radical.
And queer love will always save the fucking universe.
Woo! Da 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 da. Ba da da da. I'm a spy.